Well, hey there. Do you ever wish your website was bringing in more leads and opportunities to your business? Well, if so, I have a tip for you today. There's a small tweak that you might be able to make to your website to make it more effective in bringing in those leads and make your website actually more of a sales assistant for you. So let's dive in. By the way, I'm Melissa, and I'm a marketing coach to business women in professional services fields. And let's dive in to our tip for the day. And really what that is it's all about changing your perspective and the perspective of your marketing from one of being all about you to being all about your ideal client. And so think about it this way. Imagine that you go to a party at a friend's house and you haven't, you go in the crowd there you don't know very well. You haven't met them, a lot of them before. And so you're new to them, they're new to you. And so you're chatting with people and you meet a fellow woman and she says, you introduce each other and she says, well, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a financial planner. And she says, oh, that's so cool. I've been really interested in looking for a financial planner. I feel like maybe I should have one, but I'm not sure. And of course, you're going to maybe ask her some questions. You're not going to say, well, I'm a financial planner and I have, X, Y, and Z certifications, and I went to this university, and I worked in corporate finance for 12 years before that. That's not how you're going to start the conversation, right? You're going to ask her some questions. You're going to say, well, what are you most interested in learning about planning your finances or improving your financial position? And then she may say, well, I'm 45 years old and I'm really concerned that I haven't saved enough for retirement and I don't know how to save or how much I'm going to need and how to save all of that. And so you're going to engage in that conversation with her, right? And so you want your website to be the same way, right? You have, in that conversation, your focus is totally on her and what her needs are and what her questions are. It's not focused on you or your building or how long your company's been around or how many initials of certifications you list after your name. It's more about her. So I want you to think about that with your website and in all of your communications, really, when you're writing emails or obviously speaking to someone in person or on the phone. You want the conversation to be about them. They are the hero of their story. And if you want to be of best service to them, you need to connect with that story. And same thing on your website. Your website needs to connect with them in that story. And I speak mainly about the website because I feel like that's where I see this happen most often, where people use their website is, telling all about them, and they totally miss out on opportunities to really connect with their ideal client. So I have a couple tips that I wanted to just go through specifically on how to change your perspective. And number one is knowing the goals of your website, what you want your website to do, whether it's capture leads, provide information, schedule appointments. You have to know what your goals are for your website, but even more importantly, you want to know what your ideal client's goals are. And just in the example that I just gave about this financial planner, if women were her ideal client, women who are nearing retirement age were her ideal client, she's got to think, well, what does my ideal client want to learn or experience or know when she comes to my website? And you have to put those things front and center on your site, right? And also have a way for those folks to engage with you. So that's tip number one. You've got to know your goals and the goals of your visitor. Number two, I want you to think about the fact that you have 3 to 5 seconds to capture the attention of your website visitor. And it's just like in this conversation, right? When you start engaging and asking questions and creating that conversation, you're going to keep the attention of the person that's visiting or speaking with you. So instead of droning on about all of your certifications and education and years of experience. So when you make it about them, you're going to capture their attention. And the best ways to do that in practical application are by imagery and words, okay? And so a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you can have a picture that represents, or imagery that represents your ideal client right on your homepage up above the fold, then she's going to see that and she's going to say, oh, this looks like me. I'm probably in the right place. Let me dig a little deeper. And you're going to capture her. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is to remember that you are the guide and your client is the hero. And in practical terms, what that can mean a lot of times is you're using the pronoun you on your website more than you're using the pronoun I. And talking less about yourself and talking more about your ideal client and what her needs and wants are, and using the words and phrases and emotions that will let her know that you are best able to serve her. So there are your 3 tips for your website today, and I hope this is useful to you. And I do have a freebie that takes you through how you can make 6 tweaks to your website that will increase its effectiveness. So you can find that at the link near this video. I hope you have a fabulous day. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.